Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Bucket Discussions podcast, the channel, man, yo, whatever you want to call it. It is the man, J. Coop, back with another episode of J. Coop's Clips. And in this episode, man, I want to talk about this victory the Clippers had over the Phoenix Suns, 116-107. And, hey, man, it was a hell of a game on TNT, so I'm here to talk a little bit about it, talk about some of the performances I saw and some of the takeaways that we have from both sides from this game right here. So without any more waiting, man, let's get straight into it. First and foremost, I will say how happy I am that my team left off into the All-Star break with a W because, man, I would have been hella disappointed if we ended up losing this game and then have to wait 9 days for the next game, man, because any sports fan out there, man, you know exactly how it is when your team loses, and especially if you're an NFL fan, your team loses and now you got to wait a whole week till they play again. That shit hurts, man. That shit definitely hurts. But the first guy I want to talk about in this game when it comes to the Los Angeles Clippers is going to be Kawhi Leonard, who actually did not have that great of a performance. I mean, at least, you know, to Kawhi's standards. He did finish the game with 16 points. He had 1 block, 1 steal, 4 assists, and he also had 9 rebounds total. So obviously he did a little bit of everything besides the scoring, you know what I'm saying, to help us, you know, overcome this game and get the W. He did only play 35 minutes, which honestly, I like to see Kawhi playing 30 to 35, maybe sometimes 40 minutes depending on how the game goes, just to get his legs underneath him, you know, just to get himself ready for the playoffs, because as many of you guys do know, he did come off an ACL tear and missed like a year and a half. So getting these reps in is definitely one of the most important things we can see when it comes to Kawhi Leonard. But like I said, it wasn't the best game when it comes to scoring for Kawhi Leonard. He did finish the game with 16 points, but in the first half, he didn't have any points, and he finished the first half 0 of 8. So, I mean, at that point, I wasn't really worried too much because we were still in the game. If I'm not mistaken, we were actually up by halftime. But like I said, you know, Kawhi didn't really have the first half that you would like to see, but he did finish the game, and he did score 16 points in the second half. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely helped us later down the line, you know what I'm saying? But the next guy I want to talk about, and someone that was really big for the Los Angeles Clippers last night, was Zubac. The reason Zubac had one of his best performances of the season to me personally is not because the stats that jump off the paper, but mainly because of who we played. You know what I'm saying? We played someone in our division in the Phoenix Suns, and he was matched up against one of the better centers in the league in DeAndre Ayton, and still managed to put up 13 points and 12 rebounds while shooting 66% from the field. Now, being a big man, 66% from the field isn't, you know, nothing crazy, but it's still something we take on a nightly basis, you know what I'm saying? So the next guy I want to talk about is Paul George, who played 36 minutes, ended up having 26 points, 5 assists, 1 steal, and also 5 rebounds to top this performance off. Yeah, man, I will say the only thing that kind of was, you know, lackluster, which, I mean, that's something to expect with Paul George anyways, his turnovers. He did finish the game with 4 turnovers, and he did have some turnovers in some crucial moments of this game. So that's something you want to see, you know, them limit a little bit more going down the line the rest of the season, especially going into the playoffs, is them, you know, limit those turnovers, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just giving the team, you know, another opportunity to score on you, and that's something we obviously don't want to see, you know what I'm saying? But the main guy I really want to talk about when it comes to the Los Angeles Clippers was the starting point guard, Terrence Mann, who had a plus-minus of 10, and he finished the game with 26 points, and he finished the game with 3 assists, 4 rebounds, shooting 83% from the field and 75%, from the three-pointer in 35 minutes, like I said. So, man, Terrence Mann has really been that guy for the Los Angeles Clippers this season, and the fact that we didn't even start starting him until, I want to say, a month and a half ago was just beyond me, you know what I'm saying? I know that Ty Lue likes to, you know, have a traditional point guard, so he was trying to get Reggie Jackson in there, but when you have a 6'5" point guard, which, I mean, I guess Terrence Mann technically isn't a point guard, he's a wing, but someone that can play point guard like he did back in his college days, you know what I'm saying? 6'5", has really good point of attack defense, you know what I'm saying? Probably one of the better point of attack defenders on the Los Angeles Clippers, who's just better at staying in front of the guy that they're guarding, you know what I'm saying? Terrence Mann really provides that energy, especially as a young guy. And, I mean, last night we've seen that he's capable of putting up pretty decent numbers, you know what I'm saying, in a crucial game that really mattered, you know what I'm saying? We ended up clinching that 4th seed last night with the win over the Phoenix Suns due to Terrence Mann 26 points, along with Paul George 26 points. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to those guys right there. And another guy, the last guy I want to talk about when it comes to Los Angeles Clippers, so we can get on to the Phoenix Suns, is Eric Gordon. Man, I really cannot say much more about Eric Gordon. He finished the game with 13.7 assists, 2 steals with 0 turnovers. And I feel like that's probably the biggest takeaway for me when it comes to this Los Angeles Clippers team, and Eric Gordon, I guess specifically, is 0 turnovers. That's something you want to see when it comes to Los Angeles Clippers, is 0 turnovers, or at least try to limit those turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Just because when we had a guy like Reggie Jackson who would just come down the court and just either chuck up a random shot or make a terrible pass, especially like the entry passes where we try to get Kawhi Leonard or Paul George on the block and they try to get to their spots. It's not a good look. But now that we brought in someone like Eric Gordon who can, you make a risky pass without potentially turning it over, it's just something huge for us. And he did shoot 37% from the field, which isn't great. But, I mean, he shot 40% from the 3, so we'll take that, you know what I'm saying? Eric Gordon definitely did his thing last night, and he did have a 3-pointer, I want to say, like 5 feet away from the 3-point line. That was he just caught it and threw it up. No dribbles, no nothing. He just caught up and threw it up, and he made that thing, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Eric Gordon, man. He's been really, really big. And also Mason Plumlee. One thing the Clipper fans could say is we've never had a playmaking big who can just come in. You know what I'm saying? He could honestly run the offense a little bit. I'm not saying we're going to have him at the point or nothing, obviously. No point center going on. He ain't Nikola Jokic. But just a center that could, run the floor and make a pretty decent pass and just make a couple of decent plays, man, that's really game-changing, especially for the team like the Clippers, you know what I'm saying? So it was really great to see the new guys, play their role to a T and fit right in with the Los Angeles Clippers. And yeah, man, I really can't say much more about those guys. But now I really want to get into the Phoenix Suns side of things. Now, obviously, they didn't have any Kevin Durant, which, obviously is going to take a hit on your offense somewhat. But, I don't want to hear that, man. The Clippers have been dealing with injuries the past fucking 4 years. So I think you guys can deal with Kevin Durant being out 1 game, you know what I'm saying? And also, we were missing our 6th man of the year, Norman Powell, so you guys can miss me with all that bullshit. But the first performance I want to talk about when it comes to the Phoenix Suns is Joshua Okogie, man. This dude was huge for the Phoenix Suns, you know what I'm saying? He was their leading scorer last night. He had 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist, and he also had 3 steals, so he was obviously doing his thing defensively as well. But man, the main takeaway for the Phoenix Suns, for at least for me personally, is when someone like Joshua Okogie has 24 points, that's a game that you almost have to win, you know what I'm saying? Because I know Devin Booker really didn't have the performance that you want him to have. He only had 19 points. He shot 6 of 16 from the field. And he also had 9 assists, 3 rebounds. So he didn't have that terrible performance, but like I said, he was shot 6 of 16 and only had 19 points. Which, to be fair to Devin Booker, he doesn't really do this often, so I guess he kind of gets off the hook here, you know what I'm saying? DeAndre Ayton is someone who I've seen a lot of Phoenix Suns fans complain about how he wasn't that aggressive against someone like Zubac, who has half of his talent and half of his athleticism, you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of surprising to see DeAndre Ayton not take advantage of that matchup like he has in previous matchups against the Los Angeles Clippers, you know what I'm saying? He finished the game with 18 points, 6 rebounds, shooting 61% from the field. And, it was a decent performance from DeAndre Ayton, but when you're going up against someone like Zubac, who, like the Phoenix Suns fans were saying, who doesn't really have that much of DeAndre Ayton's athleticism or his skill in general, you kind of want to see DeAndre Ayton take advantage of that matchup, like I said, like he has in previous years, you know what I'm saying? And Chris Paul, man, he definitely did not really shoot that great from the field. He shot 25% from the field. He only shot 8 times, made 2 of them. He finished the game with 5 points. He did have 11 rebounds. You know CP3, when it comes to them rebounds, he's going to get his team involved. And, them assist. And he also finished the game with 3 rebounds. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, Terrence Ross, he was also decent for the Phoenix Suns. He finished the game with 16 points, shooting 41% from the field. And, there's really not much more we could take away from this game. They were also missing Cam Payne and also, who else were they missing? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank right now. But, the Phoenix Suns, they obviously didn't have, the performance they wanted to this night. But like I said, when Joshua Okogie goes for 24 points, shooting 56% from the field, man, that is a game that you want to try to win, especially considering the fact that the Clippers, they only won by 9 points. So this game was pretty much a back-and-forth game all night long. And I mean, I figured Joshua Okogie, this is the type of game that the Clippers would normally lose, is a game that Joshua Okogie drops 24 points, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm glad the Clippers pulled it out. I'm not going to sit here and complain. You're not going to hear me complain about it. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it, though, when it comes to this Phoenix Suns versus Clippers game, man. The only other takeaway I'd say for the Los Angeles Clippers is Marcus Morris really has not looked great. He shot 33% from the field, finished with 4 points, shot 2 of 6, and he just really hasn't looked that great over the past couple of games. I don't know if he's going through something or anything like that, like any injuries. But last game versus the Warriors, he was questionable with a non-COVID related illness. So yeah, we're just gonna have to keep an eye out on that. But yeah, man, that pretty much wraps up this Los Angeles Clippers game versus the Phoenix Suns. They ended up pulling out 116 to 107, which is something that you love to see going into the All-Star break. So shout out to my Los Angeles Clippers, man. I'm glad that y'all came through with this game, man. We really needed that, you feel me? So yeah, man, shout out to my Clippers, man. But that pretty much does wrap up this episode of J. Coops Clips, man. If you are new around here, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. And if you aren't new around here, make sure that you guys hit that like button and help us, try to, get our videos out there. That like, man, all it really does is help our videos get out there to the YouTube algorithm. So we really greatly appreciate all your guys' support, man. And yeah, man, keep bucket discussing. And hey, until next time, we out.
In the jungle like I'm Conan, count up with both hands. Switch the flow like it was broken. I'm on the road, man, making plays just like DeRozan. I shoot my shot, and that shit wetter than the ocean. I brag a lot, but with the wind and come the boast in. I made a lot from them apartments that I sold, and he didn't make it up to college. So them streets where he enrolled in. I know I'm a scholar from the moments that I was exposed in.